Good day, footprinters. Princess Chrissy here. My husband, you know, he gets a bit down sometimes, and I like to do things to put a smile on his face, and cat ears, I'll bound into the room and go, ta-da! And I have on a tiara or some cat ears or some deer antlers, you know, something silly. And yeah, put the smile on his face, and put a smile on my face too, just wearing it for a few minutes. Anyway, my darlings, I have new subscribers. I haven't written down names, but I've had some lovely comments as well. Oh, hang on a moment. I'll get the comment things going a bit. Rachel Melendez, thank you for your lovely comment. Loretta, yeah, I'm always cuddling and patting Cameo and everything, and I just absolutely love that you all have embraced her so much and sent her so much love. Yeah. Oh, Anne H asked, is Mayor Pete a GOP plan? I'll have a look at that. I replied, I didn't think so. But yeah. Yeah, but first I thought, you know, I've got a few other systems here that I'm slowly learning and stuff, and another one I'm learning is the Kipper cards, and I've got this very cute little set, lovely little set, called the Mystical Kipper, and I thought I'd do a Kipper. Like yesterday I used Lenormand to ask about Trump and the State of the Union, and surprisingly he did not go on about the impeachment, but he did have a jab at Nancy, and he snubbed her not once but twice, so she just bit back. Yes, her tearing up his speech was very un-Nancy-like, but everyone has their limits on a day, on a long day, and yeah, she'd reached hers, so you know, I don't think it's going to be all that. I know that the Republicans are going to make a big deal out of it, but please. I mean, he refused to shake her hand, and then he didn't even turn back to her afterwards to acknowledge her afterwards. He didn't turn back to Mike Pence either to acknowledge him. So even though he shook his hand at the start, so perhaps they'll be a wee bit peeved at Mike. I should ask that question too. So first up, what's in the cards for Trump for the next couple of days? So I think I'll put 3 Kipper cards down, okay? No, sorry, 5. So what's in the cards for Trump for the next few days? So Wednesday through to Sunday. So one, bereavement. Ooh. 2, grief and adversity. 3, living room. 4, rich girl. And 5, sad news. Now I'm going to refer to the book, okay? Because, like I said, I'm still learning these. It's been ages since I've really done anything with these. Like, I've been doing a little bit with the Lenormand. I've been watching Becca from the House of Lenormand. She is a cracker, absolutely joy. So, bereavement number 19. Now, that doesn't mean, the first one is bereavement. That doesn't mean someone's going to, I don't think. But it could signal the end of something for him. This card reveals something is coming to an end. So the surrounding cards will give you more clues about what is ending. Okay. So, yeah. Now is the time to say goodbye. Now this is Trump in the next few days. A situation is approaching a conclusion. Perhaps you lose a job or have already resigned. Well, I don't know. There's all there's been talk about him suddenly resigning and stuff. Maybe. The basic statement of this card is considered to be negative. Well, there you go. This card may also indicate that you cannot go on as before and that you have to rethink your current situation completely, even if it is painful. Okay, that's interesting. The next card is number 32, and that is grief and adversity. So this is for Trump in the next few days. So looking at the surrounding cards, well, he's got bereavement on one side. You can see what kind of grief and adversities you are going to come face to face with. He's got bereavement on one side and living room on the other. So that's going to be interesting. That sort of reminds me of the Oval Office with the fancy table and chair. And the luxurious surroundings. So, it may be a private or work-related matter. You can interpret this card as a warning card, whereby layout will show you what kind of things are not going to work out. Interesting. If a single question is asked, the answer will be a negative one with this card. Yeah. So I asked what's in store for him for the rest of this week between Wednesday and Sunday. 2 negative cards in a row. The more you are willing to actively approach your problems, the sooner they will be solved. If this card is part of the path, it is all in the all card spread. It may be interpreted as the person seeking advice. No, this is just looking at the days ahead. So at the days ahead, he's looking at some bad news. Now, number 21 is the living room. So for those in Australia, not the television show on Channel 10, but the living room. That's number 21. So it's preceded by 2 negative cards. This card stands for the private domain. Your own 4 walls, privacy, and the place where you feel secure. So it's either Mar-a-Lago or the White House, I think. It also represents the inner home of a person, or his or her soul. This card is also an important time card. It tells you that something is imminent. Okay? About to happen within a time period of 24 hours to 4 weeks. In such cases, this card has to lie next to the person card or speciality asked for a time period. Well, I've asked about the next few days, so next 4 days, you know, or 24 hours to 4 days. It also stands for everything related to interior design, but I don't know, maybe somebody's going to be redecorating the White House. It's preceded by 2 very negative cards, so I'm thinking this is the Oval Office. The next card along is Rich Girl, number 12. That's this card here. So, this is a very positive card which tells you that you succeed well in everything you do at the moment. It is a symbol of joy, pleasure, and well-being. This is also a person card. It represents a young woman up to the age of 40. So it can be a good news card, but it can also represent a person, a lover, a daughter, girlfriend, daughter-in-law, colleague. This card may also symbolize art. Here, rich does not necessarily mean that someone owns a lot of money. That person may rather possess inner wealth and treasures. This card portrays a time in which everything is working out and in which the joy of life plays the main role. If it is surrounded by bad cards. This hints at family grief. Well, I can imagine the whole Trump family would be grieving if he's kicked out of the White House or he leaves the White House, because, you know, it's got 2 negative cards, something about his place, his domain, and card number 5, sad news. So that's 14. So this could, if this represents a young woman, this could be something about one of Mr. E's girls. And, you know, all these women who have been accusing Trump of sexual misconduct for a long time. So sad news, number 14. So out of this spread, he's got one that indicates his domain, one that indicates a female, and 3 negative cards. This card belongs to a so-called bad card. Sad news of all kinds of painful trouble are to be expected. It represents unpleasantness ranging from mild illness such as colds and flu to confrontations with neighbours and colleagues. Sometimes this card tells you to let go of something that you will mourn, but which will ultimately make space for something new, something better suited to you. Like stripes. This card stands for emotions like weeping and feeling sad or even self-pity. It also represents psychological disorders. Oh, so I might do a clarifier on the rich girl, because it's a positive card in itself, but it's surrounded by not the best cards. So we'll do another card. Military person, 22. This card is quite complex in its statement. It first and foremost represents people who wear their uniforms in their profession, such as police officers, firefighters, costume officers, those who wear symbolic clothes. But it can also, I think, represent those who protect. Could be Justice Department. This card has the quality to emphasize and underline a fact that shows in the card's layout. So it's underlying facts that show in the card's layout. The negative cards, it represents security, stability and order, and it stands for the need for security. Wow. I wonder if this is someone. Anyway, how about we do one more on the sad news? His thoughts. His thoughts. Okay. And this is the military card, military person. His thoughts. I really don't want to delve into Trump's thoughts. Ugh. What a nasty place to go. This card is all about thoughts in any shape or form. Thinking about a problem, secrets, thoughts, uncontrolled thoughts, thoughts you cannot get out of your head. Wow, all of this. Remember, one of the things about this card was mental instability. Now we're talking about thoughts you can't get out of your head, uncontrolled thoughts. Ideas and sudden inspiration can belong in that category, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. If this card lies next to a person card, the surrounding cards describe the thoughts of that person, how he or she thinks. Somebody's got ideas and inspirations. This card defines the character of a person who is educated, who gives a lot of thought to matters at hand and is anything but superficial. Well, I think this is more of the chaotic edge, the mental instability. It's going to emerge again. I think there's going to be bad news about some female. I don't wish ill on anyone. Maybe Ivanka could be in trouble. But because this is an underlying card, that it tends to underline negative things that are happening. Yeah, it could be something to do with Ivanka, or it could be something to do with one of Mr. E's young ladies. So anyway, that is my little experiment with Kipper cards. Thank you for sharing that with me and being patient with me reading the book, because that's how you do learn things, and that's how you reinforce things too. I have my little cheat card here in front of me usually, because sometimes it's just trying to delve and trying to grab a thought. So sometimes I'll read my cheat card for the tarot and stuff and just have a think, and oh yes, that puts things into clarity and stuff. But yeah, not often, but sometimes it's like, yeah, but that's how you learn these things, by having your notes at hand and stuff, and that's how you keep it in. Because I don't do it all day every day, sometimes I need a bit of a reminder. So let's have a look at one more card from the Kipper to represent what the next few days for Trump is going to be like. I don't think it's going to be the all-encompassing triumph he thinks it is. A journey, number 10. Let's have a look at that one, and then we'll move on. You are taking a trip, going on vacation, or away for the weekend. With regard to your career, this card depicts a job that requires a lot of travelling. A sales representative, pilot, truck driver, and the like. Oh, I can just imagine Trump as a truck driver. This card may also stand for a ride on a bus, a train, or a car. It may also mean that a certain matter or concern is finally gaining momentum, is getting a move on. Wow. Further aspects of this card are wanderlust, a journey of the soul, new orientation, aiming for a new card. As a character trait, this card describes a person who wants to travel, or someone who cannot settle down. Someone who cannot settle down, someone who takes a lot of medication and cannot sit still and cannot focus. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Kipper cards. I hope you enjoyed that little diversion away from the tarot. I do like learning all these different cards. I'll tell you what, I have a set of Gypsy fortune telling cards that I picked up a couple of months ago, and I'm really looking forward to having, but they seem quite complex. So I'm going to have a few plays with them before I look at that. Now, up next, Nancy Pelosi tearing up Trump's speech at the end of it. Is that going to cause some blowback on her? Is that going to cause a bit of trouble? Well, of course, you know, the Republicans are all, how dare you? Oh, and also, thank you to the person who emailed me about Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, and he is up for re-election this year. I think he's going to lose his seat. Okay, so let's see if he even gets that far. Let's see. What is going to be happen about Nancy Pelosi tearing up the speech? What's going to be the result of that? Okay. Do the present, the past, future, reason and potential for that. Okay, so firstly I'll just push the phone back a little bit. I know a lot of people use their laptops, but when I'm watching them I find they're very grainy and everything, and so I just use my old phone. I got a new phone and I'm just continuing to use the old one to do the recordings and then upload them. I find it much clearer. I will try and remember to speak up, okay? I've got to get a microphone, but I'm having trouble tracking one down, one that I can plug in. So, and hook onto my top. So I'm just having trouble tracking one down. So anyway, Knight of Cups. It was an emotional reaction. Knights are about action, so it was purely an emotional reaction. And yeah, so what's going to be the outcome of it for her? So at present, 5 of Swords. Oh, people are saying she was dishonourable, blah, 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 blah. But she also felt, you know, the Republicans are going on about how she shamed her office and she should be removed as Speaker. But look at this person. He looks like Putin. Poor guy, hanging off the thing. The Republicans are stirring up as much as they can about it and trying to push Nancy off the raft and hope she drowns in it. She's not. She's not. This is an aberration for her, and yeah, that's what most people are going to see it for. But I think she's going to feel that it wasn't her finest moment. So I think she's a wee bit ashamed, but not too much. So what led up to it? The past? Just the lack of truth. The lack of truth in Trump's speech. You know, it just this is the cut through the bullshit card, and it's just like it cut really clearly that this speech was full of bullshit. Sorry, pardon my French. What's the immediate future for her as a result of this? The Ace of Cups. I think she's going to get stronger bonds within the party, and I think a bit of an outpouring of love towards her, because geez, she has put up with so much from you know, the Democratic side, and even people who are understanding, and maybe doing something so blatant and showing her disgust at the man so blatantly, it might, you know, it's probably done her good, because I think a lot of people see her as a bit too poised and removed from real emotion, and I think that maybe this might even cause a bit of an upwelling of love for Nancy from people who might find her a little bit cold. The reason, at the base of this reading, the Princess of Pentacles, she's had some news recently about money. Trump's money, probably. So that probably added into all of this. What's the potential of the situation? The Six of Wands. The potential is victory for her. Victory for her. Wow. So she's going to ride the storm. She's going to have a bit of an upwelling of love by people who might not normally be as fond of her, because she showed her emotions. She showed that, you know, she's not cold to it and everything. So I think it's something she'll ride through and come out on top victorious. I think there's something going to come out about money. Is this? I'm going to ask. So we'll put the Knight of Cups there. Is this Princess of Pentacles? Is this Page of Pentacles? Is this news about Trump and money? And you know, everyone's been talking for years about it being the taxes. The last few months I've been, well, maybe not. I was watching Lena Rodriguez, and she got a message saying campaign finance violations. So have they, is this news about some campaign finance violations? That's Six of Cups. That's a yes. Yes, and it goes back. So yeah. Okay, so she's received some news before it about Trump's jiggery-pokery with money. Just getting more and more frustrated with people with having to cut through all the bullshit from Trump. And yeah, she's not exactly 100% proud of what she did, but she's not sorry for it. I mean, she feels a wee little bit of, but you know, but I think in the end it's going to be good for her and good for the Democrats. So that is Nancy Pelosi's reaction to Trump's speech. More Republicans play up her tearing up the speech. The more they'll show Trump snubbing her, not once but twice. She introduced him very politely. She just didn't go into all the rapture speech that they normally do. She just kept it very short. Now, Pete Buttigieg, NH. I'm going to have a look. Okay, so is Pete Buttigieg, Buttigieg, that's it. I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing. It's Buttigieg. Is Pete Buttigieg a GOP plant? The first thing, that's the Six of Cups. The first thing that entered my mind, which always, what an old-fashioned thing, but it's like, he's not old enough. I don't know. So I'm going to do another 5-card spread. This one, it's situation, challenge, guidance, focus, and outcome. So, is he? No, he's there for America. He's there for the American people. He's not there for the GOP. And yes, he's a Democrat, but he's not even running for his party. He's running for the American people. And his first thought in everything he does is going to be the people, not the party. The challenge, he's been a little bit isolated, you know, because he took some money from somebody who's got a lot of money and all that. But, you know, so he has been a little bit quiet and in the background lately. So I think he's also been observing. And he's coming up now, and this is the challenge, because he has been a little bit isolated recently. He's been there, going out and talking, but we haven't seen that much of him in the news until recently, after the minor scandal about whoever it was he took some money from. So, and his challenge has been sitting back, learning, keeping himself a bit in the background news-wise, but going and talking. He's been talking to people, but in Iowa and everything. But, you know, he's not been relying on the media too much and stuff. He's been going out there and talking and journeying, taking a journey and keeping himself a bit isolated from the other candidates as much as possible. Guidance for him. Things are going to move swiftly. He's in a victorious place at the moment. Not all the results have come in from the Iowa caucuses, but he is ahead. So he might have a very swift victory here, but also be careful that if you do, don't let the chariot and the horses get out of control. Don't be so hyped up on the victory that you may have that you charge forward and lose control of what's happening, of your campaign in some way. The focus for him, look, he feels the burden. I mean, you know, people, he came up in with a bang, and people were all loved up on him, and then they've sort of, some of them have withdrawn from it, and it's been a burden. He's had to carry that through. And he doesn't, you know, so it's hard work. It's always hard work. But he has been doing the hard work as well. He has lifted up those sticks. Like I said, he's been not been so much in the media space of until recently. He's been going out and talking to people and doing the hard work, the hard yakka. And that's why I think he's ahead. What's the outcome for him? Knave of Swords. He might have some disappointing news coming up. Okay? So, he might be ahead. He might even win Iowa. But he might lose it by a little bit. He's currently in New Hampshire now. So, might be some disappointing news. But is he a GOP plant? No. No. He would never betray the Democratic Party that way. That's a definite no. So, no. Mayor Pete is not a GOP plant. Okay? So, that's that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to, not going to try and pick that card up now. Try to cut. Just put it aside. Now, before I did the Kipper read, start with Trump or finish with Trump. On Trump, the next few days for Trump. What's going to happen in the next few days for Trump? So, I'm wondering if he made a deal with the GOP that if they acquitted him, he would resign. But if they did, they were fools. To think that there'd be any chance that Trump would keep his word on anything. So that's my private opinion. So, let's see, what card? Sorry for turning my back on you, but what deck? Oh, let's go. What deck? Oh. Steampunk. Usually when I'm reading on Trump, I get drawn to this one for him. I don't know why. The rest of his family, I tend to use either the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot or the Connolly Tarot, but when I'm reading on Trump, it always seems like the Steampunk Tarot by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Ali Fowle. It just seems to like have that dark edge to it. I love it. I've got 4 steampunk themed decks. As you can imagine, I really do like my steampunk. So I'm going to ask the same question as I asked with the Kipper readings. And that is, what does the next few days, Wednesday through to Sunday, hold for Trump? And I think I might do I think I'll do a full cross on this. With this new layout, Celtic cross. I misplaced the old one, and I printed up a new diagram because, like I said, I like using different spreads. So there's a couple I've memorised, but most of them, no, I tend to have the layouts in front of me. Anyway, Trump from Wednesday through Sunday, the next few days for Donald Trump. Let's have a look. Let's see if this echoes what the Kipper had to say. Ooh. Trump has perhaps painted himself into a corner somehow. A corner that could have legal ramifications. Okay. So, the present with Trump. Interesting. There's some reversals in this deck. This one was reversed. So, victory reversed. So he's feeling pretty victorious after his State of the Union, but it's going to be short-lived. He deserved the success he feels deserved. It's not going to happen. There's going to be delays. It's even because it's reversed. Defeat, not victory. It's significant defeat is possible. Wow. So this deck has some reversals in it, so I'll just fly with it. His immediate challenge. To make deals that help him, that benefit him. He's got to start doing some wheeling and dealing, apparently. His distant past, this again is reversed. Judgment reversed. So, you know, yeah, everything that's good about judgment, awakening and coming to an understanding and using good judgment, it's all reversed. Guilt, and yeah. Operating on the wrong assumptions. He's just been assuming. He's been making assumptions that everything's a sure deal. You never know till the vote goes through. Perhaps, fingers crossed, but I don't see him being removed. But maybe he's not going to get the acquittal he wants. The judgment's reversed on him. It's not in his favour. Okay. Everything he's done in the distant past, I think. Yeah, judgment has not been in his favour in the distant past. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. So, in the distant past, judgment really hasn't been in his favour, even though he's gotten away with a lot. People still judge him badly. Now, Three of Swords reversed in the recent past. Well, he's not a happy chappy. This is like heartbreak, betrayal. Yeah. And yeah. So it's like turning this, all the swords are going to come falling out and fall on his head, to me. All the betrayals and all that are starting to come out in the recent past. More and more and more. He's feeling very betrayed by John Bolton. Shouldn't be surprised, but should he, considering what he did? The immediate future for the trumpet, the Knight of Swords. This is one of the fastest moving knight, charging in, acting for justice, seeking the truth, legal matters. He's going to have a lot of action, legal action, is going to be coming at him very, very quickly in the immediate future. The best outcome he can hope for, this is the best, it's not the final one, but the best he can hope for, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Financial losses and a high degree of insecurity. Financial losses. This is the best he can hope for. This is supposed to be for the next few days. This isn't supposed to be for months. This is just looking at him in the next few days. He's looking at the best outcome he can hope for is financial losses. Oh my goodness me. Factors affecting, what's it saying? The situation. The Knight of Cups, reversed. Things, people are seeing through his facade of, I'm the wonderful knight rescuer of America. People just aren't believing it. They're seeing right through it. They're not buying it. They're not buying the shiny picture that he put up with the State of the Union. External influences, 5 of Wands, conflict. You know what, I think there's some argy-bargy happening within the Republican Party. I think some people aren't happy with being told how they're going to vote and being forced to state their position in publicly before the vote. So I think that's causing a little bit of conflict. And it could have a bearing on him. What's his hopes and fears in the next few days? Oh, 7 of Swords. Reversed. Well, either way, because this is hopes and fears. He hopes he can get away with stuff, but he fears he can't. And I think because this is reversed, the fears might be more dominant. Okay, the final outcome for Trump between now and Sunday. Queen of Wands. Nancy's gonna get him. Wow, I mean, the Kipper, different system, different layout. That wasn't looking too good for old Trumpet. This is not looking good for him either. So, hang on a minute. Let's see if we can move things over a bit. Yeah. So, that's it. Oh, I've dropped another card. I've put on a stack of weight. I've got to lose it. So, and it's like, I just have to move and I create my own vortex that blows things off. Anyway, my darlings, I love you all. And I will see you at the next reading. Bye-bye.